Although it seems normal, the world in which we live is anything but. The comforts we take for granted today were unthinkable for more than 99.99% of human history when life was a struggle for survival. This is the tale of our journey to get here, one that was characterized by tenacity, inventiveness, and change over millions of years. Humanity's journey from primitive tools to civilizations, scientific discoveries, and contemporary technology is evidence of our capacity for innovation and adaptation. We must look to the past to comprehend the present. The story of us is this. Our world seems typical and everyday. It seems like this is the way people have always been. However, it isn't. The world we live in now is more advanced and designed to meet our needs than it has ever been, allowing us the luxury of not worrying about survival and forgetting about ourselves. Security, food, and shelter are all essentially taken for granted. For over 99.99% of human history, however, life was entirely different, so we are a unique few. Furthermore, a single human history does not exist. Our story starts 6 million years ago, when our relationship with the apes ended and the hominini tribe split. The first humans, belonging to the genus Homo, appeared 2.8 million years ago. We prefer to believe that we are the only people on the planet, but this is not at all the case. At least 6 other human species existed when we, Homo sapiens sapiens, first appeared 200,000 years ago. It must have been frightening, like living with aliens, to have cousins of similar intelligence and skill. A few of them achieved great success. For instance, Homo erectus lived for 2 million years, 10 times as long as contemporary humans have been around. About 10,000 years ago, the remaining humans vanished. What led to their extinction is unknown to us. There was some mixing, but not nearly enough to cause a species merger, as modern humans contain at least a small percentage of Neanderthal and other human DNA. Therefore, we are unsure if our cousins' disappearance was due to a string of small-scale genocides or because they lost the struggle for resources. In any case, we are the only ones left. Back to the dawn of man. Although early humans first used tools 2.8 million years ago, they did not advance much for almost 2 million years, until they discovered how to manage fire. Cooking with fire improved the nutritional value of food and aided in the development of our brains. Additionally, it created warmth and light, lengthening days and lessening the gruesomeness of winters. Furthermore, it could be used for hunting in addition to deterring predators. Small animals, nuts, and pre-roasted tubers were found in grasslands or woods that had been torched. The majority of the various human species lived in small hunter-gatherer communities as early as 300,000 years ago. They had their own cultures, buried their dead, planned for the future, and had fire, wood, and stone tools. Above all, though, they communicated with one another, most likely in a primitive language that was simpler than our own. How far could we go back in time, take a few babies, and raise them today without anyone noticing that they're a little different if we had a time machine? There is a lot of disagreement. Although modern humans evolved anatomically 200,000 years ago, we could likely only go back 70,000 years and still capture a modern human being in terms of behavior. The infants would most likely be free of a few important gene mutations before that, essential for developing a brain capable of abstract thought and modern language. The rate of innovation exploded at some point, some 50,000 years ago. Because humans now possessed a multi-purpose brain and a more sophisticated language to effectively communicate information with one another down to the last detail, tools and weapons became more sophisticated, and culture became more complex. This made it possible for us to work together much more closely, which is what truly sets us apart from other animals on the planet. Not our relatively feeble bodies and diminished senses, but rather our capacity for adaptable collaboration in sizable groups, in contrast to, say, inflexible beehives or small, squat wolf packs. As our brains developed, we were able to perform tasks that life had previously been unable to perform. One is to rapidly increase knowledge, preserve the knowledge that has been acquired over many generations. 3. expand on prior understanding to acquire an even more profound understanding. This may sound silly, but up until that point, knowledge had to be transmitted from one generation to the next, primarily through ineffective genetics. Human existence, however, stayed largely unchanged for the following 40,000 years. There wasn't much to work with. There were numerous animals, including our ancestors. It's challenging to build a skyscraper without understanding what a house is. Although it is simple to treat our ancestors with a sense of superiority, this would be ignorant. 50,000 years ago, humans were survival experts. Their territory was mapped out in detail in their minds. They were highly sensitive to their surroundings and had a lot of memorable plant and animal knowledge. They were able to create intricate tools that needed years of meticulous training and extremely precise motor skills. Because of their daily activities, their bodies resembled those of modern athletes, and they had a vibrant social life within their tribe. The average brain volume of early modern humans may have even been larger than it is today, due to the numerous skills necessary for survival. Our ancestors were better than us as individuals, but as a group, we know more now. Then, in various places, humans developed agriculture some 12,000 years ago. It was all over in an instant. Previously, everyone had to possess exceptional physical and mental skills in every area to survive as a hunter and forager. People relied more on others' skills to survive in the agricultural age. This implied that some of them might be able to specialize. Perhaps they took the time to breed better livestock or more resilient crops, or perhaps they worked on better tools. Perhaps they began to create things. Civilization emerged as farming became increasingly efficient. We were able to hoard food on a large scale for the first time thanks to agriculture, which provided us with a consistent and dependable food source. Grain is much easier to store than meat. Because the food supply needed to be protected, communities had to live in closer quarters. First, the need for organization increased as early defense structures were constructed. Things became more efficient the more organized we became. Cities grew into kingdoms, which in turn became empires, and villages became cities. Human connections grew rapidly, creating chances for knowledge sharing. The rate of progress accelerated. The scientific revolution started about 500 years ago. Everything we believed to be true was altered by the fields of chemistry, biology, physics, astronomy, and mathematics. Soon after, the Industrial Revolution took place, establishing the groundwork for the contemporary world. More people could contribute to the advancement of humanity throughout their lifetimes as our overall efficiency increased exponentially. Revolutions continued. Our world was shaped by the development of the computer, its transformation into a tool that we all use every day, and the emergence of the internet. The speed at which all of that occurred is difficult to comprehend. About 125,000 generations have passed since the first human species appeared. Approximately 7,500 generations have passed since the emergence of physiologically modern humans. Civilization as we know it started 500 generations ago. We learned how to do science 20 generations ago, and only a generation ago did the majority of people have access to the internet. We are living in the most prosperous era in human history, from the makeup of the atmosphere to significant alterations in the terrain and the other animals that inhabit it. We have changed this planet. We place people in a metal box in the sky and use artificial stars to light up the night. Even our moon has been visited by some. On other planets, we placed robots. With mechanical eyes, we have peered far into the universe's past. Our knowledge base and methods for gaining and retaining more of it have grown rapidly. Compared to a scholar a few centuries ago, the typical high school student today knows more about the universe. Despite the fragility of our rule, humans still rule this planet. Our ancestors from 70,000 years ago are still very similar to us today. However, the duration of your way of life is less than 0.001% of human history. It is impossible to predict what the future will bring us from this point on. Our skyscraper is being built, but we're not sure if it will stand on quicksand or a firm foundation. For now, let's leave it at that. Remember how unique this made-up human world is the next time you miss your train, your burger isn't hot enough, or someone cuts in front of you? Perhaps all those little things aren't worth getting worked up over. All right, So this was our first attempt at creating a video about history. Although we would love to produce a lot more of them, they require even more time than a typical video. Thus, we may do 3 or 4 each year. Here, your opinions are greatly appreciated. We appreciate you watching, and you can directly support us on Patreon if you'd like. It is a huge help to us. Here are some more videos to keep you distracted while you consider it.